In the previous class we had discussed about types of mixture, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous, and we had got under the homogeneous and heterogeneous three types of solution, that is true solution, suspension and colloid. So now here we will discuss about the solutions. So a solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. Like we are using different types of solutions in our daily life, lemonade, soda water, these all are the examples of solution. So it is a solution means a homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. Normally when we say solution means an idea comes to our mind that a liquid that contains either solid or liquid or gas dissolved in it. So why the solid and solid can also be solutions, that is called alloys, and gaseous solution is called air. So it is not whenever we heard the word solution, it is coming to our mind that it is a liquid, but solid solution is also there, that is called alloys, and gaseous solution is air. So solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. For example, when you are taking lemonade tastes the same throughout. This shows the particles of sugar or salt are evenly distributed in the solution. Suppose we are taking the example of salt solution, salt and water. So all the if you will take a glass of water and you will add a spoon of salt, then whole the water of the glass will be salty, not only a portion of the water. So that means the particles are evenly distributed in the solution. That is why it is known as homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. Solutions are homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. Homogeneous means the particles are evenly distributed in the solution. One more example I am giving. For example, you are taking one glass of water and you are adding 1 spoon of sugar. After that, whole water of the glass will be taste as sweet, not only the half portion of the glass or only a small portion of the glass. That is why this is said as the particles are evenly distributed in the solution. That is why it is known as the homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. So a solution also has two parts, that is it has a solvent and it has a solute. Its components, a solution has two parts or two components, solute and solvent. So the component of the solution that dissolves the other component in it, that is called solvent, or normally in easy words you can say that the component which is larger in amount, that is called solvent, and the component which is smaller in quantity or lesser in quantity, that is called solute, or the component of the solution that is dissolved in the solvent, that is called solute. So a solution has two components, solute and solvent. Solute is usually used in lesser in quantity and solvent is used as larger amount, or you can say that the component that dissolves the other component in it, that is called solvent, and the component that is dissolved in the solvent, that is called solute. For example, sugar plus water or salt plus water. So salt plus water, we are getting salt solution. Here salt is considered as solute and water is considered as solvent, because I had told you the component which is used in lesser in quantity, that is called solute, and which is used in larger amount, that is called solvent. So when you are mixing salt and water, we are using water in larger amount, that is solvent, and salt we are using in lesser quantity, that is solute. Or in other words also you can say that the component that dissolves the salt in it, water is dissolving the salt in it, that is why water is solvent. Salt is getting dissolved in water, that is why salt is the solute. So mainly two components are there in a solution, that is solute and solvent. So some other example also we can take, like a solution of iodine in alcohol, that is known as tincture of iodine. Iodine is a solid which is used as solute, and alcohol is liquid which is used as solvent. So in tincture of iodine, iodine is used as solute and alcohol is a solvent. In aerated drinks like soda water and aerated drinks, the carbon dioxide or gas that is used as solute and water is used as solvent. So air is also a mixture of gases. Air is also a homogeneous mixture, a number of gases. So main two constituents of air are oxygen and nitrogen. The other gases are present in small quantities, but air is also known as the homogeneous mixture of gases. Now you might have having doubt that oxygen is present 21%, nitrogen is 78%, but still I am telling air as a homogeneous mixture. Why? So homogeneous means that is evenly spread. Whenever you are going in your environment, everywhere you can get the oxygen or the carbon dioxide or nitrogen gas. It is not like that only a portion of a particular portion of the environment you will get oxygen, or in a particular portion of the environment or air you will get the carbon dioxide. These gases, other gases which are in small quantities, those gases are also uniformly spread in the environment in air. That is why it is known as homogeneous mixture of gases. Now I think you are clear about what is homogeneity or homogeneous. So air is also a homogeneous mixture of gases. That is that homogeneous, that doesn't depend on that what is in larger quantity or what is in lesser quantity. It depends on how it spread equally or evenly throughout the solution. So since all the gases are evenly distributed in the environment in air, that is why air is known as homogeneous mixture of gases. So now we will see the properties of a solution. First of all, solution is a homogeneous mixture. The particles of solution are smaller than 1 nm or 10 to the power minus 9 meter, or 1 nm means nanometer in diameter. So they cannot be seen by naked eyes, or you can say that the particles of a solution are not able to be seen by naked eyes because of very small particle size. They do not scatter a beam of light passing through the solution. So the path of light also is not visible in a solution. The solute particles cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. The solute particles do not settle down when left undisturbed. That is why the solution is stable. So a solution is a homogeneous mixture. The particles of solution are very small in diameter, so they cannot be seen by naked eyes. The particles are very small size. They do not scatter a beam of light. The solute particles cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. The solute particles do not settle down when left undisturbed. That is why solution is stable. So these are the properties of a true solution. So now we will see concentration of a solution. So you might have remembered in the previous class I had taken two beakers. First two beakers I had taken water and few crystals of salt. In another one I had taken water and 1 spoonful of salt. We had taken two types of solution. So here we can say that in a solution the relative proportion of solute and solvent can be varied. Here you can see the solute and solvent, the amount of solute and solvent varies. That is why we can say that in a solution the relative proportion of the solute and solvent can be varied depending upon the amount of solute present in a solution. It can be called dilute or concentrated or saturated solution. That is, these are very comparative terms, and these are depending on the solute. We can classify them dilute or concentrated or saturated solution. So all these things depend upon the solute which is used and the quantity of the solute is used. So depending on the amount of solute, the solution can be called as dilute solution, concentrated solution, or saturated solution. So at any particular temperature, a solution that has dissolved as much solute as it is capable of dissolving, that is said to be saturated solution. Or in other words, we can say when no more solute can be dissolved in a solution, that time it is called saturated solution in a given temperature. At a given temperature, that is called saturated solution. You might have noticed that when you are mixing water and in case of sugar, you might have noticed more. When you are mixing water and sugar, you are making solution or something. When you are adding sugar in water, after adding a few amount of sugar, you can see that the sugar particles are settling down at the bottom. Even if when you are drinking the milk or tea, sometimes the milk you had finished, or the tea you had finished, but the sugar particles are settled down at the bottom. That is that is called, that is why, because of the saturation, that happens because of the saturation, because at any temperature a solution that has dissolved as much solute as it is capable of dissolving in a solution at a given temperature, that is called saturated solution. Or in other words, you can say that when no more solute can be dissolved in a solution at a given temperature, that is called saturated solution. The amount of the solute present in the saturated solution at this temperature is called its solubility. The amount of solute that is present in the saturated solution, that is called its solubility. So when no more solute can be dissolved in a solution at a particular temperature, that is called saturated solution, and the amount of solute present in the saturated solution at this temperature is called its solubility, its solubility. So sometimes when, if the amount of solute contained in a solution is less than the saturation level, that is known as unsaturated solution. When it is the opposite of saturated, you can say that when the amount of solute is less than the saturation level, that is called unsaturated, and when there is no more amount of solute can be dissolved, that is called saturated solution. But when the solute is present less than the saturation level, that is called unsaturated solution. So we can finally we can say that the concentration of a solution is the amount of solute present in a given amount of solution, or the amount of solute dissolved in given mass or volume of the solvent. Or we can say that the concentration of solution is equal to, the concentration of a solution can be termed as amount of solute by amount of solution, and different substance in a given solvent have different solubilities at the same temperature. So there are two various ways of expressing concentration of a solution. So here we will only study only the two methods, and it is given in your book. Two formulas are given, you can. So here we will study about the two methods of expressing concentration of solution, that is mass by mass percentage of a solution, mass of solute by mass of solution into 100, and mass by volume, that is mass of solute by mass of solution into 100. For example, a question is given: a solution contains 40 gram of common salt in 320 gram of water. So from here you are sure that 40 gram of common salt, this is solute, 320 gram of water, this is solvent. So calculate the concentration in terms of mass by mass percentage of the solution. So already we had a solute and we had solvent, but we need mass of solution. So we have to find out solution. So solute and water solvent is given. So solution, by adding we can get the solution. After getting mass percentage, we can write mass of solute by mass of solution into 100. That is, we can find out the concentration. And similarly, by using mass by volume percentage also we can find out, by using mass of solute by volume of solution into 100. So find out some more questions like this and try to solve them, and read the book so that you will be more clear about the solutions. Next class we will study about suspension and colloidal solution.